Keiran, I watched Scrum 5 a couple of weeks back. It was a lovely interview with you down in Neath with Scott Gibbs. How much did you enjoy that experience?
Yeah, it was good actually, especially going back to Neath. That was enjoyable as well. But obviously getting to meet Scott was fantastic. Obviously a huge influential character in Welsh rugby, and obviously very good for me as well.
Yeah, I've only had to Google Keiran Williams, Scott Gibbs, and the amount of comparisons that are in Google searches. I mean, do you ever get tired of it?
Not really, because obviously it's very flattering for me to be compared to him. Because like I said a couple of weeks ago, what I've achieved in the game, what he has is totally different. He's obviously a Welsh legend and somebody I look up to. And obviously, no, it's definitely not. I don't get tired of it, but obviously it's flattering as well.
Did he give you any advice off camera? What was your biggest thing to take away from that day?
I try to take as much as possible. Obviously off camera he'd give me a little bit of advice, obviously with things, and just keep doing what I'm good at, because obviously what I'm good at and what he got is very similar. So he was just kind of trying to take that, just enjoy rugby as well, is what his main thing was. So I try and do that every game I play.
It was really great to see you get your long-awaited Wales debut in the summer. Obviously, you didn't make the World Cup squad, sadly, but what were the work-ons that Warren Gatland told you to go away with?
For me, the last couple of years, it's always been communication is a big factor in the game, and that's something I'm working on and trying to get better at, and something I'll probably need to work on for years to come. Also, as a 12 in the modern day now, you have to be better than just carrying and footwork as such. You have to be scanning different things, and obviously you've got to be good with the ball in hand, and that's something I need to improve on, and hopefully I can do that going forward.
Who are the centres in World Rugby right now that you look up to and aspire to be like?
I think you see, like, especially with the Irish centres, and especially the way they play, they can easily carry the ball, and they can easily be very. Obviously, the distribution is very good, and that's something obviously as an international centre you need, because obviously defences nowadays are very strong, and it's hard to break them down. And if you've got playmakers across the back line, it makes it easier for the team then to obviously create opportunities.
Does having that little taste of Test rugby make you even hungrier now to get into that Six Nations squad next year?
Yeah, of course it does. Obviously, I'd love to be in there. Obviously, my focus now is obviously with the Ospreys and getting obviously game time there, and hopefully then it transpires into getting more minutes on the international stage. But if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't, I guess.
Well, you're doing everything right. A couple of tries against the Scarlets last weekend. Are you happy with your form so far this season?
I had a little bit of a slow start this season, probably a bit of a hangover, obviously missing out in the World Cup. But yeah, I've obviously grown into the season now, and yeah, obviously last week I think I obviously apologised to the forwards, obviously nicked their try close to the line. But no, it's obviously nice to get over the line. But obviously most importantly for us is to get the wins that we need.
George North, players like him, not going to be around forever. He's in the sort of twilight of his club and international career. How much have you learned from players like him during your time there at the Ospreys? Oh,
obviously with him, he's achieved so much in the game, hasn't he? Obviously the caps he's had for Wales and Lions alike, and he's obviously a big factor in me, helping me with my communication, obviously, because he's very good at that. And obviously you see at the international stage that's what you need, and yeah, it's fantastic to be under players like him, and obviously you learn a lot as well.
And you've lost a lot of experience over the summer. A lot of big names have gone. So at 25, do you see yourself as one of the leaders in quite a young group now? Yeah,
it's quite strange, to be honest. Obviously we did lose a lot of experience. Obviously you look around the room, there's a lot gone, but yeah, it is weird, because obviously I'm quite old now. Obviously I'm 26 on Monday, so it's a strange feeling. But I guess when you do lose that kind of experience, there has to be players that step up and obviously help the younger guys coming through, because we are a young group. And obviously if I can do that, then it just helps everyone around me.
And looking ahead to the weekend, the first of back-to-back games against Benetton, how important is it that you back up last weekend's performance against the Scarlets, against what's a quality team?
Yeah, so last week obviously it was a must-win game for us on the back of 2 losses we needed to win. Obviously it'll be even tougher this weekend now, because I think Benetton are one of the form sides in the league. Obviously they've gone from strength to strength with some players they've acquired, and I think last year they beat us as well. So obviously we need to go out there and put our best foot forward, and hopefully that we can keep the ball going, because we obviously need to get those wins, because top 8's our focus come the end of the season.
Yeah, this is the sort of last game now in the block before you go into Europe. What would be your sort of half-term report of the Ospreys so far?
Inconsistent, I would say. I think there's obviously games we should have won. I think Dragons was a poor reflection on us, but I think with Glasgow, that was one we missed. Obviously, if we'd have won that game, obviously everything's better in hindsight. Obviously, we'd have been higher up the table. But yeah, it's just obviously staying in games, and obviously, hopefully, we can obviously take that going forward now. And Europe's obviously a big factor for us. Obviously, being in the Challenge Cup now, hopefully, we can get obviously a good run in that and see where we are come the end of the season.
I wish you well. Thank you, Keiran.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Keiran. How are you?
Hi, mate. I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks. You know when you reflect back on the summer and the training camp of Wales and winning your first cap, I mean, how do you sort of reflect back on that period? Obviously, naturally disappointed not to make the World Cup, but still must have been great to win your first cap and be involved.
Oh, of course, it was obviously it was a special moment for myself, a special moment for my family alike. It was something that I worked towards for a long time now. Last couple of seasons, I felt I played well enough to maybe have one chance, and I had a chance, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I learned a lot over the summer. Obviously, it was a tough couple of months. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it to have that cap, and something I'll never forget.
What was the sort of biggest difference, in terms of the training or whatnot between and the amount of, and when you came on against England? What was the biggest difference between playing for the Ospreys and playing regional rugby to sort of getting into an international environment?
I think it's just the intensity of the training sessions. It's intense every single session. You can't switch off. Obviously, your focus has always got to be 100% every single time. And I think international is tough, isn't it? Obviously, with the players you play against, they're always switched on and they're physical. Obviously, it's not easy. So that's probably what I take. It's obviously you've got to be switched on 100% of the time. Obviously, you can't switch off, otherwise you'll be punished at that level.
Yeah, and in terms of the training camps themselves, are they as tough as the players have said? Are they that tough?
How worse.
Was it?
It was even worse. It was hell. Yeah, it was tough. There was a lot of times where you feel like quitting. It's horrible. You're pushed to your limits, your wits' end, so to say. But yeah, it was hard. It was very, very hard.
Yeah, and you look at your performances for the Ospreys. Obviously, another player of the match performance on the weekend. You must be I know this is stating the obvious, but you must be really itching to have the chance to really prove yourself at international level. Yeah,
of course. I'd love to prove myself on that stage, but that's obviously out of my hands, isn't it? Obviously, I can play. The only thing you can do as a player is play consistently well, and obviously, then that's up to the coaches then and what they choose, and obviously you've got to accept that.
Yeah, and on the Ospreys front, obviously a lot was made at the start of the season about budgets being cut and that sort of thing. But the Ospreys have, obviously given a good account of themselves this season. And Toby Booths has really created a strong culture, hasn't he? He seems like all you guys are quite tight, and you're buying into what he's trying to do.
Yeah, 100%. We are a tight group. I think the addition of Mark Jones this year has been huge for us. I think last year or so we haven't really had a defence coach, so we haven't had that structure to really play off. But Mark's come in. It's very simple but effective for us defence, and I think we've all bought into that. And as you can see, I think especially last week we were very good defensively, and I don't think we give scars to anything. Obviously a forward pack was fantastic last week, and that just shows obviously the kind of unity we have as a group, and obviously it's something that we need to take going forward as well.
Yeah, I asked Richard Fussell about this, but we saw a glimpse of Dan Edwards on the weekend with the try. Obviously, really impressive for Wales 20s. How impressive have you been with him in training? Is he somebody you're excited by, because he looks like he's got a lot of potential? Yeah,
of course. Obviously, when you said about budgets, obviously you can't sign big players. You need your young academy players to come through and make a mark. And Dan's someone that's definitely going to make a mark going forward. He's quick, agile, and that's something he needs a 10. He's going to help us obviously going forward. And obviously, I think he's just going to be someone that's going to go from who's going to. Sorry, let me start again. He's going to go from strength to strength. That's what I was trying to get at. But he's a guy obviously just definitely look out for.
Yeah, and just finally, I know obviously you can only concentrate on the Ospreys because the international thing's out of your hands. But have you identified any aspect of your game that you're playing? Obviously, you're winning players in the match performances now. But have you identified where you need to what you need to do to get to the next level? Is that something you're always sort of looking at?
Yeah, of course. I think it's probably been my work on the last couple of years is being more kind of adaptable to what the modern day 12. Like obviously you've got to be better with ball in hands. Obviously you've got to have ability to kick as well, and that's something I'm still trying to work on and still trying to be better at. And I think obviously I'll still be working on that for years to come, because that's what you need as a modern day international 12. Because obviously you see every international side, they've got that 12 who can really help 10 out, so to say, and that's just something I need to take going forward too, because it always helps the team as well.